Talk about a way to make a grown man shed some tears. So I finally got to watch the One Piece 1 hour special, Luffy versus Sanji. And oh man, because I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been the biggest fan of the One Piece anime for quite a few years now. I just really don't watch it. Recently, when they announced the 1 hour special and shit, I was like, alright. And it's crazy because aside from the 1 hour special, I've actually been rewatching a ton of One Piece. I watched the East Blue special. That was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, seeing a lot of those old pieces reanimated and stuff like that. Really good stuff. And I've been rewatching a lot of the old shit too. Log Town, a whole bunch of really cool stuff. So I've been in a more of a One Piece mood. I'm not gonna lie. I've been like, I need to watch me some more One Piece and get back more into my One Piece. And then I see this special. And oh my gosh. So I gotta definitely say, without a shadow of a doubt, that the manga was amazing for this, right? Luffy versus Sanji. Well, Luffy versus Sanji, because there wasn't no Luffy versus Sanji, but the manga slam dunked it. And the anime did even more than that. The anime topped what the manga set forth, which in my opinion was hard to do, especially considering the fact that the anime for a long time, it's a general consensus that the anime pales in comparison to the manga, that the manga just, shits on the anime because of the pacing and whatnot. But man, the anime did its thing. Now, if we're comparing it or we're looking at it as just an entire special, because essentially it was 2 episodes together, depending on where you watched it, it might have just been 1 episode and the next episode, or if you watched it, I believe I watched it on Funimation Now, which if you want to watch it, link in the description below. You get a 2-week trial and all that good stuff. You go check it out yourself. They put it as one big special with a couple of little commercial thingies that they have, the eye catches or whatever. So I watched it like that. The first half of it, they had a lot of recap, and to be honest with you, throughout it, there was a lot of recap. That was one of the only things about this special that was a little bit irritating, is that we had a lot of recap to the same scenes. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it was tugging at my emotions, but it was just like very repetitive of constantly seeing Luffy say, hey, join my ship, which it worked in one regard, just that it keeps reminding you over and over of this connection that they've had, this long, it's over 2 years or whatever that they've been friends and comrades and on the Straw Hat crew and all that good stuff, so it reminds you, but it was a little bit repetitive with a lot of the scenes that they kept on replaying. So that was the only thing about the special. But I mean, the art, the animation, it was insane. And then Sanji with the kicks. Now, there was a little bit of an argument I seen, and I kind of wanted to touch up on that. A lot of people were saying that regardless of Sanji's situation, that Sanji should leave the Straw Hats because of what he did in this special. And in case you don't know what he did in this special, or you're not even a One Piece fan, you're just kind of trying to tune in to find out what happened. Essentially, Luffy, Straw Hat Luffy, he's the captain of his pirate crew. One of his mates, one of his people, kicked the living shit out of him. He had great reason to do so, because essentially the people that have him captive right now, they're threatening to kill somebody that's pretty much like a father to him. They're threatening to blow up his hands, which he uses his hands to cook and shit like that. So he had some great reason, but still people are saying he should hold his head down in shame and bounce out of the Straw Hats after all this. He just completely cut ties, leave it. You should be ashamed of what you did. I think Sanji was justified. It's just, my gosh, the level of what he did to Luffy, I couldn't bear it. After a while, I'm like, he just keeps kicking him in the face over and over and over. And it's like, on one hand, it's like, Luffy's a monster, bro. He took all of that shit and never once threw his hands back at him. It was a little bit different from when Luffy went up against Usopp, because I feel as though they were, in a certain regard, obviously the situation was a little bit different, recreating the magic of when Luffy went up against Usopp. Remember when Usopp kind of went nuts because of the going merry and shit like that? It was something along those lines. It's just that I think if anything, Usopp, he was not necessarily justified, and Sanji is. Usopp was just kind of like, I love this ship. What do you mean we're getting rid of this ship? This ship means everything to me. I believe that was the same ship that his friend gave him and shit like that. So it was a little bit different. And again, I might be mistaken, but I know that it was just, he was really connected to the going merry. So with Sanji, it's like, somebody that's my dad is gonna die if I don't fucking play along with their script and shit. And the part that it broke me down in the manga, and it had me at like 3 a.m. when I watched this shit in pure tears, is after all of that shit, he knocked Luffy out completely. Nami came and smacked him in his face and said, we shouldn't even have done this. Goodbye, Sanji. Sanji goes back in the car and he starts crying. That shit got me, because he didn't want to do that. That's his captain, that's his friend, those are his people. There was 2 moments actually that really got me. It was that moment for sure. That was the slam dunk that just had me in tears, and it was beautifully executed. And at the same time, you got his fucking brothers, those pieces of shit I hate so much, laughing at him. But one of the things that really got me, and it was Luffy's voice actress, the way she said it, and just the scene, the quiet nature of it, was after Sanji was talking mad shit. You low-class scum-ass pirate. Like, you ain't shit to me. Like, I never even thought you was gonna be Pirate King this whole time. I always had my doubts and shit. Luffy looks at him, and very quietly, he says, so you were fooling me this whole time? Like, oh, that broke my heart. That broke my heart, because you always gotta remember that there's a very innocent nature to Luffy and all this. Yeah, he wants to be Pirate King. Yeah, he's kicked some major ass throughout this series, but he's still, like, as of right now, what, he's 19 years old and shit like that. So for him, it caught him off guard. Like, this is like my brother practically, you know what I'm saying? These are my brothers. This is my family. This is my crew. And he was lying to me? Just talking about it. They did such an amazing job. Every cue, the music, all of that good shit. Honestly, the only thing, like, and if anything, I would argue, if you really just wanted to get all the best bits and you really wanted to skip out on a lot of the recap, you could probably go to the second half or the second episode of all this, because I believe it was episodes 807 and 808 combined as a special. The second half is where it really all kicks off and begins. I watched the first half anyway because, like, I don't watch the One Piece anime like that, so it felt nice and refreshing to just get up on all that stuff. So that's why I watched it, and I to a certain degree, I don't really regret it, but it was very heavy with flashback. It was on some Naruto flashback no jutsu type of shit, you know what I'm saying? So definitely very heavy, but, like, my gosh, they fucking nailed it. They nailed it so heavily going into Sanji's backstory. And if you think about it, Sanji had 2 horrible things happen in his life, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the crew, you know, okay, Nami, she was slaved away by Arlong, and Chopper, you know, like, everybody, they had their one really tragic thing. Sanji escaped from tragedy, escape from being locked up and all of that shit that Judge did to him. Judge, I hate you so much, Judge. Judge, eat a big fat fucking dick. I hate you, Judge. But then on top of that, he gets away from that and then gets stranded on an island with some old dude and shit, and, like, the beautiful moment of Owner's F and him. And I think it was also trying to show the parallels of what a piece of shit father that is actually his true, you know, blood related father, and then somebody that was a father figure that treated him like a father is supposed to. And I always love when anime and manga go in those lines, that it's not necessarily blood that makes you family. It's how you treat people. It's how you show, what love you show them. If you show them love and shit like that, like Judge is his blood father. Judge treated him horribly, locked him in cages, said, don't ever tell anybody that you're my son. I'm embarrassed by it. Owner Zeph, he threw away his life as a pirate, saved this kid because he shared the same dream that he did. Oh God, just talking about it, like, they nailed it. This was one of the best things I've seen in One Piece in a long time. I'll be honest with you, I enjoyed this more than I even enjoyed the last One Piece film. And I enjoyed the last One Piece film Gold, but I felt as though this just connected on so many levels, especially with One Piece being such a long-running series, and you get so attached to these characters, and you've been watching for years, to see squabbling amongst them. That's how I felt when Luffy went up against Usopp, and I know I keep bringing that up, but I felt the same exact way. It's like watching a family, a really close-knit family that would do anything for each other, all of a sudden have turmoil. It's an interesting thing. It's a sad thing. It's a holy shit, how did it come to this type of thing? Again, I'm just appreciative that it didn't go the route of, like, Sanji just wanted to go rogue for the sake of it. He had a lot of reason to, and he regretted it, and I know, oh my gosh, just again, those tears. My boy Sanji, the cook, black leg, owners, like, yo, I'm fanboy right now, but it was absolutely amazing. Again, if you're a One Piece fan, you already read this in the manga, you're kind of wondering, should I check it out in the anime? I don't really care for the anime nowadays. Watch 808 at the very least, the second half of the special. The first half, a lot of recap and shit like that, but the second half, for the most part, gets straight to the point, and it's really, really good. I'll tell you right now, like, I'm not the biggest One Piece anime fan, like I've been saying through this video. I'm not. But I absolutely love that. I loved it more than I love Film Gold, and I enjoyed Film Gold, but this just felt so much more on a whole other level, and it was like, this is one of the main reasons, one of the many reasons why I love One Piece. Because it could do some great things. It could do the storytelling, the world building, but when there's conflict amongst the main cast that always get along and shit like that, especially to this level, it was absolutely amazing. Luffy, a true G, even after he took the ass whipping, he said, I'm not leaving this. And the most powerful thing that he said out of all this was, I will not become Pirate King if you're not with me. Oh, just great. This is more of a reaction than a review. Honestly, like, art and animation on point, story on point, characters on point, all of it was on point. could have cut down on the flashbacks just a little bit. It just was a little too overbearing at times. But then again, that's more so the fault of 807, because if you just go into 808 with those flashbacks, I think it's fine. It's just 807 that pushes it very heavily. Kind of curious what you guys think about this though. If you've seen the special, did it really hit you in the feels? I ain't gonna lie, I was there like this after watching. I was like, I can't, why? And if you haven't, go do it. I'm telling you, if you're a One Piece fan, go do it. It's worth it. It's really worth it. You might not like the One Piece anime. This isn't that boring shit that sometimes it be, or that dragged out shit. This is really, really good. So that's for this one though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Luffy versus Sanji, 1 hour special. Amazing.